And I'm Jeff. I have a 12-year-old, 9-year-old, and a virtual Geralt.
You okay? If there was ever one way to get you into a PSVR 2 or a Quest 2 would be if they came out with a VR version.
Absolutely.
Oh, you would buy like it wouldn't even be like it'd be the rumor of it coming, and you would have your order in because you are so hot for Geralt. It's
It could just
crazy.
be, yeah, it could be like a regular game, and it's just like this Geralt skin. And you're like, okay, all right, I got to get VR. That's it. Pre-ordered.
The adult beverages are poured, the kids are asleep. Welcome to New Dad Gaming, a show about fatherhood, gaming, and new fathers figuring out their gaming lives. My name is Trevor, and I have a 7-year-old and a 5-year-old.
And I'm Jeff. I have a 12-year-old and a 9-year-old.
Battery Daddy update.
Battery Daddy!
The fans wanted to know, dads wanted to know, what is the latest with Battery Daddy, the battery organizing tool that was introduced to us by good friends of the show, Bill from A Gamer Looks at 40. Which, to wit, per his story, it seemed like one of this is Sky Mall nonsense. I'm not sure I'm going to use it, but turned out to be an amazing gift. I've asked for this for Christmas.
Yes! Yes!
Because upon reflection, like my son, of all things, I mean, this is now spiraling into a couple Toy Stories. My kids have Lego Mario.
Yeah, yep.
Which fun little toy that really is great for gaming dads out there. It's much more intricate and well thought out than you'd think. It's not just a cheap tie off.
Yep.
So small plug to that. But needed some batteries. So I went to what I have is a Ziploc bag full of just batteries bouncing about, acid all over the place. Like it is just shameful. And then, lo and behold, in a weekly flyer we received was the Battery Daddy. And my wife remarked upon it, saying, "Oh, Battery Daddy." And I was like, "This is it. This is exactly what I
made
need."
it.
Look at this Ziploc bag. I'm like a Neanderthal of batteries here. Like I gotta set a good example for my kids about putting things in organized and first things first. So, everybody, cross your fingers for me. I'm hopeful that I will have the organizational power that is Battery Daddy in my home.
I hope so too. I'm looking forward to this because we've hyped it up on this show at least for one episode, and now we're getting to episode 2, and it's gonna be this saga. And then maybe I'll get one, so we'll do it up.
Please.
We'll have dual Battery Daddies in this show.
It's such a perfect coming of age father story because where it seems so laughably useless.
It's just.
But then in a quiet moment of fatherly reflection, it's like, this is really good.
I would really want this.
This is very useful because at some point you'll go and look at your pack of batteries and be like, I'm living in the Stone Age over here. Like I need some sort of modern solutions for modern battery problems.
That's right.
So, anyways, Battery Daddy update. Everybody, I will keep you posted on where we end up. Jeff, how desperate are you to interact with Geralt at any particular? Like, when you wake up in the morning,
Right.
how long between that wake up and your first thought of Geralt?
It's funny because my alarm would just be like the music of the game. You like that big Irish chorus or whatever that's going through. Yeah, no, I'll wake up and be like, Geralt, where are you? What game are you in now? Turns out he's in Fortnite.
He is in Fortnite, folks. So, because through tweet, I found out that you had stepped back into Fortnite. Fortnite is having, and I hope you could describe it. I think there's some massive event going on, and at the end of it, I don't think it's necessarily tied to it, but I believe Geralt is going to be a playable character. How did that all work out?
So I saw this update of chapter 4. I don't know. I've been out of Fortnite since I think we played back in chapter 1 or whatever that was. It wasn't good. My skills are not great.
To be clear, because we're pretty bullish on the game. The game is fine.
Yeah.
We are not good.
Absolutely not. I am not good at this game at all. Mm-hmm. But I saw chapter 4 come out, and they had the new Unreal Engine 5.1. So it's got like the Lumen engine, it's got ray tracing, it's got like super resolution. And I'm like, how is this going to work with the aesthetic that they have in Fortnite? Because it's kind of like cartoony and stuff. Downloaded it just to see, step back in, and right in my face is like, hey, Geralt's in the like cutscene. I'm like, oh my god,
That's my guy.
he's casting a spell. This is great. And then like it turns out he's in a battle pass that's like locked 60 days from now. But like,
oh really? Oh,
yeah.
sad.
So it kind of killed my hope a little bit. But I stepped back into this game, and oh my god, it is beautiful. It is a pretty game. It has just the color in this thing just pops. So I'm playing on the PS5, so it's just silky smooth. It's got this new Unreal Engine to it. And wow, like even just the destruction is changed. Like everything just seems better. And not necessarily like more complex by any means. It's just like you're like playing a Pixar movie. It's pretty crazy. And I would invite anyone to just jump back in and see. It's nuts.
I was going to say, I wanted to, if we had recorded later, my intention was to download it on my new gaming PC.
Yeah.
Between that and my Xbox Series S, I think that's the more powerful of the two. It's because I was curious to see it and even just to kind of experience this moment. There's just, I continue to be impressed with this series. They have no reason to go this hard.
No.
It is it is just an absolute money machine that people adore and love, and is competitive. It's, it makes Twitch stars, right? So, but they go so hard, constant content, huge events like this, like new characters all the time. And even with this event, it's not just the same game with some extra rewards. Like this is, although you have to, more of it than I do. Like it's a big cataclysmic event again, where everything shifts and changes, and it's not even competitive. You just all experience it. Is that right?
Yeah. So it's like when you start out, like that's kind of the arena, and then you can go into the modes that are the usual modes. The no build mode, I haven't experienced that, so that is fantastic. I think we talked about that a few.
That's right. Yeah.
Dozens of episodes ago. But it's something again that, like you were saying, they don't have to mess with this formula. Like a lot of the times when you have something winning like this, you just kind of tweak it a little bit because you don't want to lose your player base. You don't want to, revise the whole thing. But oh my God, like props to this game. If you like it or not, they do crazy stuff with this game. Like ripping the map apart, having, bands performing it, introducing a whole new graphics engine, right? Like this is like their test baby, and it's just, I don't know. I think it's got to be paying dividends for them. It sucked me back in. So like, as a player that doesn't really go for the Fortnites, I was having a blast. Just experiencing the world. It is so pretty. I would kind of relate it to almost the, what was the one you were playing? Phoenix Rising.
That's right. Yep.
Just like that, but like, just think like, again, just Pixar movie. Like you're playing this Pixar movie. Everything is just beautiful to look at. I got murdered so many times because I was looking at like how the chests would, they glow, but they are like reflections and ambient occlusion and like everything. I'm like, oh my God, look at this thing. And then I would just get shot and dead. But like, it was a good experience. And again, it's free to play. You're not doing anything unless you want Geralt, and then you pay for the battle pass, which I don't know. I might want my boy Geralt. I'm not sure yet.
God, that would be such a, especially if it's like level 60, like you would have to commit. This really depends on how desperate you wake up for Geralt each morning, because you would have to commit to grinding Fortnite for like a month or two.
I know.
Oh, that'd be such a, I would be here for.
Are you challenging me on the show?
Kind of. I'll be honest. Like that would be, I would love to see. The game is fun. You and I have had some fun with this game. It's not one that you and I constantly come back to.
No.
But vis-a-vis your new deck, your new Steam Deck, or on your, I think Steam Deck's going to serve you better, honestly.
Yeah, I think so too.
Could you commit to sticking in it for, I don't know how long it takes, especially for someone who, no offense,
is not good at the game. Just be honest, I'm not good at the game.
How long would it take you to get to Geralt? That would be very interesting content.
I would. Are we talking, maybe somebody from our audience can let me know, like level 60, is that something that is tens of hours? Or...
Yeah, is that... How much does Jeff have to commit? Should Jeff commit to it? Reach out. I think that almost feels like a Twitter poll. I think we're going to be putting.
I think so too. Yeah.
So
please be nice.
We got to find the right way to word it though, because it can't just be, "Do you want to see Jeff suffer?"
Right.
Everybody loves that.
Yeah.
So,
of course. That's just perfect content.
Keep a eye out on our Twitter, or if you have your own opinions on it or can help Jeff with some tips about it, that's at New Dad Gaming on Twitter or newdadgaming.com. Now, speaking of long tail games that dads don't necessarily get into, I successfully had my first sort of D&D experience, all thanks to VR. So a game exists specifically I have Oculus. I think it's for a few other platforms. I think it's even flat PC if you want to play it. I don't think you need VR necessarily. It's amazing on it, but it's called Demio.
Okay.
Hold on, the spelling was a bit Demio or Demio. I'm gonna go with Demio. That seems a little bit better. But what Demio is, it's in VR. You can imagine that you are sitting in front of a game board, like multi-tile game board. You can kind of move and shift it around, so you're not necessarily stuck in one particular seat. And you can play it single player. Right, so if you want to have a just by yourself, which is kind of what the cool thing too is, you can control multiple characters. So if you want to go through any number of their campaigns, you can say, okay, me and 3 other characters I'll control. Let's have this D&D session. Now, for the purists, I understand this is not true D&D, but as far as describing it, I'm going to continue to use that. So forgive me, D&D. Right. So what ends up happening is, so you pop in, and there is about 5 quests that you can go through.
Okay.
And each of those, it's just 3 layers of dungeons, so it's fairly compact. And it's a physical board, so there's squares, and your character can only move so many squares. You have a list of spells that you can enact. You only have so many actions. And it's just this big collaborative like a game session that you have going through a controlled campaign. Monsters show up, like there's turns, like one after the other. And what 2 great things. Firstly, that action. A board, character moving the pieces, rolling a dice to see if you're going to succeed or not, strategizing, okay, what's the best way to get this done? Send your rogue stealth around the corner, no one sees them, get your mage to stun them, get your warrior to go up because he's super buff, take all the hits, their tank. Tons of fun. I've really wanted to play D&D for quite some time.
Yep.
But with dad restraints, like you can't, let's get together a group of like 5 to 10 dads on the same night.
Your first barrier. Yeah. How is that going to go?
For 4 hours or online or otherwise, it becomes complicated, right?
Yes.
And secondly, just not knowing about it, so not being able to do the time, any number of barriers for me getting into it. So enter this game. Everything happens within an hour. I did have one go to 2 hours because we were doing poorly.
Oh, no.
But so it happened. It was awesome. It was amazing. One of the cooler parts about it. So at a baseline, by yourself, if you want to play it, controlled campaigns, 5 changes every time because it's, generative. Okay. Oh, no, now this time there's 20 spiders as opposed to like 4 and 3 goblins. Right? But one of the cooler parts, which was surprising for myself that I did it, was live play, live matching. Oh. So do a quick match, and just 3 other actual humans will pop in, and now it's you and these other 3 collaboratively taking on this challenge.
That's cool.
It was amazing. The one time there was this amazing woman we were playing with, and she was like, "Oh, sorry, I just had to change position because my kids were messing up with the Wi-Fi and I was losing connection." It's like a fellow parent. Yes, perfect. This is going great.
That's right.
But next thing you know, it's like a cast of characters. Like most of them, there's a few instances. Like one was a lousy, like 12-year-old snot-nosed kid. Didn't like him. Then other time it's kind of like this rough and tumble dude who's just like swearing and making derogatory remarks. Not all that great, but like vast majority just kind of cool people trying to like get out a D&D game, trying to be supportive of each other, and you come up with strategies. God, man, I can't believe it. I'm so stoked. I'm so stoked that this exists and I got to do it finally.
Yeah, that sounds like a pretty awesome way to solve a big problem to that kind of game, right? So we talked about just even the timing of things and getting a group together and sitting down, but also just the pieces and the boards and all the stuff together. So if you have that virtual space, I've always been interested in kind of that tabletop kind of area in VR, that would be a cool way to kind of bring people together. It's very clean and easy to do. You might look a little bit weird to your wife or partner that's walking around. You're like talking to the wall and then talking to the other side of the room. But it's a good way to solve it, and even just to dip your toes in and, even practice, because, D&D sessions can get pretty involved. But like you were saying, like maybe an hour session, sometimes two. But can you pause and like get out if everyone agrees, or is it kind of sit down and play forever?
No. So it's certainly, because you're not crafting a character and there's no story, like you're just playing a class.
Yeah.
You can pop out. And the interesting thing is, if when you start a game, I think they wait it so they try to get you started with a group that's just beginning a session.
Okay.
But sometimes, like, I just got thrown into someone who's already on the second floor. And one thing I noticed is that there was a couple people I'd say, like, within my 3 matches that I did to completion, a good 4 people just dropped out. Tech issues, I gotta go, whatever else. And often someone else would just come to replace them.
Okay.
So it's not some terrible sin to just have to, like, pop out if you can't, like, do the time. Right?
Yeah.
And even if you do, they got this really clean numbering system. So for somebody you disconnect, the number is, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you just, like, pop back into the game.
Oh, that's perfect. That, again, it's solving another thing where somebody has to go, their kid's crying or something, and you can pop out. And then, like, Trevor gets in. He's like, all right, let's fix this game. I got it. Let's go.
It's like, what are you doing, Bard? God, you're ruining it. It was pretty wild. The number of kids here was a bit, in VR in general, just with my experience with VR, it's pretty bad. I don't really understand the...
So you mean like there's more kids than...
Fortunately, in this game, not so much. In other games, there's one called Population 1, which is a Fortnite-like inside of VR. And the kid-to-adult ratio is very skewed. Okay. Like, it's very weird. And you're listening to them, and it's like, you sound about 8, which places you anywhere between 8 and 12.
So,
and you're not supposed to have this headset on. Like, it's not... I think the cutoff age is like 16, right?
Yeah. I will maybe shed some light on that, because all of my 12-year-olds friends, most of them, have VR headsets.
Oh, Boise. All right. Well,
so, and they play WoW. So they're deep into these games.
In VR?
No. But, like, they're kind of in that realm of, even just RPGs. And my kid isn't. I want them to be, because then I could play with them. But they are, when they go over to friends' houses, they come back and say, oh my God, I, got into the Oculus, and, I tried this. Is the other one Vive? One of those.
Vive, yep.
Yeah. So, like, they all have these VR headsets. I'm like, who are you? Hey, that's amazing. Like, these are not...
Yeah.
Well, maybe the Oculus is a little bit cheaper, but, like, usually you have to have a rig next to it or whatever. But, yeah, they're all playing these games. And even the birthday parties, like I mentioned in the show, they go to the VR birthday parties because they've all been in it. Like, that's what they're doing.
So I don't want to be a prude. Like, look, because even just the other night, I was showing some stuff to my wife. I picked up with Black Friday sales. Like, I have a ping pong game, a golf game.
You just went like, I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna take this.
Oh, it was a blast, especially with the gaming PC. After, like, Black Friday, I got my gaming PC, which means I could do some PC VR.
Oh,
so
yes.
Went a bit VR nuts. But I showed my wife some. Kids bust in the door. Decided to show it to them. Right, and I have like I have a 5 and a 7-year-old, way too young to be playing it. But okay, like, come on, like, put it on, like take a look around. My favorite part is my 5-year-old almost had a massive face plant because he was trying to grab stuff in the world.
Yeah,
like, he just wasn't connecting the dots that, like, what you're seeing isn't real, son.
Right,
like you're in a simulation.
Yeah, you gotta be careful. Yeah, they'll run into a wall or fall. But like you were saying.
But much like you, I think there'd be the distinction where I think they advertise. I don't know if I'm almost, like, worried now that I'm wrong, but it feels like it was like 16 before they suggest that you start having this on your face for larger amounts of time. No,
I think, PSVR, I think it was 12 and under, and that's a liability thing. I imagine it's probably like you were saying, if you don't have somebody around to catch you, like a 5-year-old, even 8-year-old, even my 9-year-old might run into a wall or hurt themselves, right? So I remember asking the optometrist when we went for an eye change, just like,
Right.
hey, I had them play VR for 15 minutes. Like, am I wrecking their eyesight? And he's like, no, like it's the same as with any other screen. It's just, it can be disorienting
Hmm.
if their eyes aren't adjusted for that kind of space. So long hours, he said no, but that's with any screen time. I'm like,
Yeah.
well, let's, cut off that conversation. That happens anyway.
Okay.
But
So I'll back up a bit here. According to a website called Mirage VR, the minimum age limitation for VR gaming is 7 plus,
oh,
but most of the headset manufacturers set the age limit according to their hardware. Sony's PlayStation VR has restricted the age to a limit of 12. Oculus Rift and Samsung Gear VR rate at 13 plus, and HTC has no specific one. So it seems that as a baseline, they're saying 7, but ultimately, most of the individual companies are saying like that should probably be more like 12.
yeah.
Now, I will say though, so that means the kids I was talking to were about in the 12 to 14 range. All right, well, you're allowed, like technically.
It kind of aligns with it, right? I will say, like, if you do longer, have you ever had that? I had it with PSVR when I had longer game sessions, and you come out of it, and it feels like the world is kind of scrolling. Do you, like it's a weird, like you're on a cloud kind of feeling. You're like, whoa, I was in there too long.
Yeah.
I need to unplug for a bit.
Yeah, like I'll get that. There's some like the dizziness, like unfortunately, I tend to have good VR legs, which I'm very happy about because I love the medium very much.
Yeah.
But even for myself, I get some queasiness with some of the flight games, or even the space sim with Elite or the roller coaster stuff. Yeah, and then you take it off, and it's just like you got to give your head a shake. Like,
Yeah.
your face is sweaty, and your eyes are like bulging, and you're looking around like a madman. Like,
Yeah, you're like, oh my god, I need to adjust to this reality I'm in. Oh my god, there's kids here. I'm like,
yeah, who are you?
oh yeah,
Oh, my family, right?
yes. Oh hi, yes. All right, dinner. Yeah, I'll get that. Yeah.
Yeah, get right on that.
That's a cool. I don't know. That's a good outlet that you've discovered though for VR and just
Yeah,
again tabletop gaming, especially D&D.
Yeah, I'll put it as two. So I think like firstly, for a gaming dad with limited time, limited capability to get a bunch of people together to do it.
Yeah.
That for me, that's one of the look at as a grander statement. VR, I think, gets a lot of bad press because of the nonsense going on with Meta and like the metaverse and like all these big promises about, oh, you'll never go shopping again. You're going to put on this headset and like do a virtual shopping and nonsense like that.
Right.
It's a bunch of big empty promises that aren't particularly tied to any useful reality that we have, right? And again, like Facebook, Meta, the whole kind of dirty type of social part of it that everybody's a bit uneasy about. And according to the whole medium, I think it's dragged down a little bit.
Yeah.
Instead, of what I would say is I think VR represents a lot of fascinating opportunities. Like I'll give you another one. It's along the same line of D&D. So let me hit the D&D one first. So I've not been able to put together a group of people to sit and play like D&D or some tabletop RPG, and I'm also very new to it, so I've not really even had the courage to go out and do it.
Yeah.
And instead, like you are in this world, you're amongst a physical board, what feels like a physical board because of how the medium is set up, and you're playing this game, and one of the good, and this shows the power of it, because this company, Demio, this particular game, is so perfectly crafted for VR. This is VR first. This isn't just let's cram it into the eyes and the headset. This is
Right.
how can we produce the best possible experience for how they're going to go through this.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's stunning. So it represents like the capability, the togetherness of it, the physicality of it, and the optimum experience itself to really produce something amazing. So that's awesome. I'll give you another quick example. There's this other app free called Big Screen VR, entirely free, and there's just all of these rooms available. So if you have media, if they have some channels that you can watch, you can rent movies, and you can actually even rent 3D movies.
Okay.
As if you go to a movie and you put on the goggles. Okay, interesting little app in of itself. The more interesting part is people will stream from their own systems media. So it's either a movie that they own, or they'll stream like a live sporting event, or they'll XYZ. So what ends up happening is you hop into this room and the Green Bay Packers are taking on the Patriots. And all of a sudden you're at a drive-in theater, you're at a campground, you're at a space station, you're at a movie theater. And you're staring up at this 100-foot wide television screen. And around you, with spatial audio all around you, are people like screaming at the screen. It's like, well, ever since Brady left, I'm not so sure. It's like, yeah, I agree with you there, but I think the team still's got it. And they're just going at it. It's the communal watching experience.
Wow.
Right? Now, I'll be clear, it's not like vis-a-vis, we don't need bars, and why even see each other anymore? It's not a replacement. Yeah. But again, for a busy father who doesn't really have time to like pop in to watch like a basketball or a football game amongst other people and just communicate and experience it. And even if not, like, I'm not very talkative in these games. It's not like I'm screaming at the screen or...
Oh, come on. I think we've heard on this show that you were the one yelling at the screen.
Very opinionated.
Yeah.
But I'll just say, like, being a part of it with everybody else, it's better. Like, it's more interesting, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know your thoughts.
I would say, actually...
Yeah, what are your thoughts?
Everyone should get into that kind of experience before licensing gets to it and cracks down on all that streaming to other people. And they're like, wait, Jeff, we want to make Jeff, money off this.
Jeff, shut up, Jeff.
Yeah, no, it sounds wicked. I remember, again, PSVR with the big screen kind of feature. It wasn't like what you were describing, but even just watching a movie within a space seems really weird to talk about. You're like, why don't you just watch it on TV? But like, you get that theater experience with those 3D elements that do happen. And again, if you have the spatial audio and stuff, you can hear other people and comment with them and stuff like that. So I think it's another good layer, another good tool, much like your D&D experience. Like, you know, meet up with people when you can and carve out that time when you have kids running around. So
it's much like I said on my experience on the single player podcast, or experience podcast, and last episode. It's just, for gaming right now, like the tool set at our disposal is stunning. We have so much available to us. Like, it's amazing to be able to get our game time in.
Yeah, absolutely.
I would be curious. We're going to do a quick Google search here. We haven't done a good old Google search in a while.
Do the VR headsets take batteries? That's what you're Googling right now.
VR Daddy Quest 2 partnership. I'm looking for PSVR Demio. Okay, it's PSV 2. Can you play Demio on PSVR? It's for PSVR 2. You're out of luck.
It's probably because of the new controllers, right? It looks like you were actually picking up the pieces, which is very difficult to do.
And that's right.
The wand kind of style. Although I have like played some strategy games, but it's more like point and touch. Like, so they could do it, but I don't know. Again, it's coming. It's good.
I bet you have. I just wonder if we'd have like a dad gaming night of a little bit of Demio, a little bit of D&D light.
Hey, I mean, if we get up there and this show wants to get Jeff a PSVR 2, please donate and GoFundMe, Patreon. So the GoFundMe would be you with a cardboard box on top of your eyes with like cutout. That's right.
It's like, Jeff is only able to experience AR. Actual reality.
Actual reality. That's right.
Please
bring him to the next level.
Please let him touch digital.
That's right.
All right, but should a Quest or PSVR 2 ever grace your household, we'll have to set up a gaming dad night. Absolutely. Or again, like if any gaming dads are out there listening that happen to play Demio and they want to hook up, like let me know. I'd love to go through it with a listener, a gaming dad, and kill some hobgoblins and slimes. So at New Dad Gaming, newdadgaming.com. I'm going to repeat that in the outro, which is coming up now because we'll wrap it up here for the week. Everybody, thank you so much for listening. This has been New Dad Gaming. As I mentioned, if you want to get a hold of the show, are you excited for Battery Daddy like we are? Do you have other Christmas gift ideas? Are you getting back into Fortnite? Are you a huge Fortnite player? Can you provide Jeff with some guidance on what it would take for him to get Geralt in the new season? Please. Do you want to hook up with Jeff for a gaming session on Fortnite? Do you want to hook up with me for some Demio? All of the above. We really, as I said it multiple times in the show, one of the greatest parts of this show in the last couple of years has been all the interaction with other gaming dads. So we love to hear from you. The emails have been stunning. Same with the tweets, so toss them over. Our website, newdadgaming.com or at newdadgaming. If you like the show, a subscription and a rating or a comment helps massively. We can't really understate this. To get out to as many gaming dads as possible, if you do subscribe to the show, leave a rating and a comment. It boosts it out, the signals, all the other gaming dads, so I can fill out my dungeon going party.
That's right.
With other gaming dads, so we can all chuckle, drink beer, and invariably lose 2 along the way as you have some sort of kid catastrophe. Right. But what else can I say, everybody? Thank you so much. Until next week, my name is Trevor, and I have a 5-year-old and a 7-year-old.
And I'm Jeff. I have a 12-year-old, 9-year-old, and a virtual Geralt.
Okay, if there was ever one way to get you into a PSVR 2 or a Quest 2 would be if they came out with a VR version.
Absolutely.
Oh, you would buy, like, it wouldn't even be like it'd be the rumor of it coming, and you would have your order in. Because you are so hot for Geralt.
It could just be, it could be like a regular game, and it's just like this Geralt skin, and you're like, okay, all right, I gotta get VR. Let's go. It. Pre-ordered.
Next gen, baby.
That's right.
All right, until it happens, can't wait. Remember, everybody, just because you became a dad
does not mean it's game over.